Hello everybody, Tiffany, Dragonflower Studio here. Welcome back if you are returning, or just welcome if you're new and just checking out my channel for the first time. This is a series that I'm creating, I'm creating another journal. So this I'm calling this one Catching Fire, just because that's the name of the book that it came from. Several videos ago I showed everybody how to sew in signatures and do a hidden spine and all of that. I am going to keep the book cover as it is. I will eventually cover up the author and the publishing company, but I think I might keep the Catching Fire name on the back of it just because I like the aesthetic. What I'm focusing on with this series is I'm trying very diligently to create and decorate this junk journal from what otherwise would be classified as junk. Now, that being said, clearly the book is not junk. It was recycled. I picked it up at a yard sale. So what I didn't do was purposely go out and buy something to make a journal out of. I just I picked up the book at a yard sale. I took out its signature block or text block, and I'm turning it into something else. So when I say junk, I genuinely mean found items. There will be some new things that probably find their way in here, because there's just some things that you can't reuse, like eyelets and beads and things of that nature, or stickers or whatever, but for the most part it's going to be found items, reused items, repurposed items, things of that nature. So what I plan to do right here on the first page of Signature 1 is I'm going to create a stacked envelope. And I think what I'm going to do is for this journal is I'm going to create this on the first page of each signature. This journal has 3 signatures. They each contain 40 pages. Remove my writing board. And I'm going to create these stacked pages on the first page of each signature, just to give the intended user a place to put whatever they want: recipe cards, bookmarks, ticket stubs, whatever have you. So this is a deep pocket. It does go all the way to the bottom of that one, and then this one also goes to the bottom. So there's 2 ways to put things in here, and I think what I may do is end up just doing a U-shaped glue around the back side of this and potentially give a pocket for here. I will determine that whether or not I will determine that later. So I wanted to show you how to do those. This is my prototype. I just kind of played around with it. I like how it turned out, so it will end up in the journal. What I need to do is make a couple more of them, and that's what I'm going to show you how I got to this stage. So I'm going to use, this was just regular copy paper that I started out using, just just your plain old white paper, but I really think of the other 2 I'm going to make out of some coffee dyed printer paper that I have dyed myself. So I just started with folding the bottom pocket about there. I didn't really super measure how deep it was. I just made sure that my paper was straight. So I'm going to fold it there, and then I'm going to grab my bone folder and just give this a good crease. And then what I did to make what we'll call the middle pocket there, I love the crinkle of the coffee dyed paper. What I did to make the middle pocket is I just took a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, gave it a good crease down the middle, grabbed my ruler, lined it up, and then that became my middle pocket, like so. Okay, so and then, since my journal pages are 5 inches wide, oops, it's not wanting to line up over there. Since my journal pages are 5 inches wide, and this is 8.5 inch paper, I'm just going to come in here and maybe if I find my X-Acto knife, I'm just going to come in here and cut this right in half. That'll make it 4¼ inch across, and it will fit perfectly without much else being trimmed off of it. Now, if you're working in a smaller journal, obviously you would have to cut this down. Or if you're working in a bigger journal, You know, if you're working in a full-size 8.5 by 11 journal, you could, you know, make this adjusted accordingly. I don't have to tell you that. Y'all are fully capable of figuring that out. I'm just rambling at this point in time. Welcome to my ramble channel. So then there you have it. This is the basis. You know, if you wanted to keep it super simple and what's the word I'm looking for? Minimalist. You know, put some glue down the sides, and there you go. You got some pockets in a journal ready to stuff your ephemera in, or your keepsakes, or what have you. However, I am not the minimalist, at least not in regards to this journal. So we are going to do some stuff to these pieces of paper. So I am going to create 2 of these. I'm going to go with these 2 pieces of paper. They're just scraps that, I don't know, got torn off of something, that I'm going to use as my little embellishment piece right across here. And then I like the way that the edges turned out on this one, so I think I'm going to try some different colors on these and see kind of, well, what happens. Because, you know, it's the I wonder if mentality that brings about some of the most unique ideas. I don't know what color that is. I didn't write it on the spool. Well, let's see. This is, oh, mahogany would look good. And then I think we're going to go with maybe black. Yeah, let's do black. So, give me a second. Let me get out my ink pads here because I was not prepared. This is my drawer o' ink. I do love these ink pads. I use them for just about everything. I was lucky enough to have some of them given to me, and they last forever. They really do. I don't think I've had to replace one yet, and I've been inking like crazy with them. So this is the mahogany. It's called aged mahogany, and we're just gonna see what happens. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. There's about 1,001 different ways that I've seen people make these stacked pockets or multi-pocket inserts. This is just one of the ways that I've come up with doing it. I really like the way that it turned out, so I figured, why not put a video out there? And you know what I think I'm gonna do? We're just gonna give this paper kind of a aged mahogany look. How about that? Oh, I like that. Okay, and I didn't go all the way to the bottom because it's going to be hidden underneath the pocket in front of it. So I'm just going to do the same thing to this one. Tra-la-la-la-la. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my new videos. They come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Now, I say that, and then, you know, inevitably I'll forget that it's Monday and forget to post a video. So, hang in there. Life is crazy, as we all know. And, you know, I work a full-time job. I have a child with special needs. And sometimes life gets a little crazy. And I forget to post a video. But I usually try to get them out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So, if you want to see that content, want to see the Catching Fire journal come to fruition and get completed, please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, and then you'll get a notification whenever I remember to post. Hold on just a second. Okay, kiddo needed me, so you know, when duty calls. So I'm just going to do this across all of this paper because I really like the way that looks. I don't have a whole lot of ink on my dauber, but as you can tell, it leaves a little circle on one side, but that's just kind of, well, now the ambiance of said design. I actually really kind of like it. So, and if you're one of my regular viewers, thanks for coming back and watching. I know I do a lot of different series, but I think it's fun to kind of show viewers how journals come together from start to finish. Now, this thing has a little rip in it. No harm, no foul. Just adds character. So there we go. It's gone from this to that. Okay. So then I'm just gonna grab my I think this is a 1 inch. Whoops, sorry. Maybe not. I don't know. Where's it written? Can't tell. I think it's a 1 inch hole punch. Yeah, it's a 1 inch punch. Usually has it written right here. I think I may have worn it off. Anyway, I'm just gonna grab a 1 inch hole punch. This works really great if you're making, you know, homemade envelopes or something like that. And I'm just, maybe my coffee dyed paper doesn't always like to come in here. Most people will go right in the middle, and most of the times I do too. But I really liked the idea of giving these offset thumb holes to this design. Okay, and then I'm just going to come back and kind of accentuate with my ink where those are. If you're curious, I just make little ink daubers out of old wooden spools and a little piece of foam. Just glue it right on there, and then the other end you can give it a label so that you know what color is on there. And they're really great because you can set them on their end this way and not have to worry about getting ink all over whatever. These guys are great, however, I'm not made of money, and while Tim Holtz makes wonderful, wonderful products, these are a little bit expensive. Now, the plus side of that is this foam pad is removable with Velcro, as I get black all over my fingers. So if, for whatever, it starts to deteriorate or something, you just rip it off and replace it. So I've got a couple of those. My two most used colors, you'll see me use those a lot, which is espresso and soot. But otherwise, I just got my hands on some old wooden spools. Also, something else I've seen a couple people use is, I call them the peg people. They just look like little wooden pegs. They make great daubers too. Same thing, put a piece of foam on the bottom and go to town. So let me get the black off my fingers. I don't necessarily want black all over this thing that I currently am working on. So I see it down there. Little gnat crawling across my table. Ugh, I didn't get him. Oh, got him. There we go. The fruit flies here in Texas are insane. Okay, so now we have this, okay, and what we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna go with the black and gray on the red, or maybe do I like the red on the red? Oh, the red actually makes that look more brown, so we'll go with the red polka dots. It's got red polka dots, and there's a bit of a wood grain print to that. I don't know if it translates well on the screen, but that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to set this guy aside so he's not in the way. So then, let me get my tiny ruler, my teeny tiny ruler, and my X-Acto knife. And I'm just cutting 3/4 inch strips, which is about the width of my ruler that I'm using. Okay, so I'm just going to cut 2 of those, and I'll set that aside. And then what I did before on my first attempt was I used a pair of scalloping scissors or whatever, decorative scissors, to kind of cut that pattern. But I think I'm going to leave this one straight. Oh, my finger holes, my thumb holes are just a little bit deeper. So I think if I trim right across the top of that with a pair of decorative scissors, these ones have a tendency to stick. We'll see what kind of effect that has visually, if I like it or not. Oftentimes I will switch horses in the middle of the stream. As you know, if you've watched me craft enough, especially when you watch me craft live, you never know what you're going to get with Tiffany. Oh, I like that. I like the little beveled edge. Kind of gives a nice decorative touch. So we're gonna keep that. We're gonna make the other one same thing. I'm just trimming off ever so slightly the top of it. These scissors are so great to have. I've had them forever. I use them a lot. They were once upon a time scrapbooking scissors, and now they're junk journaling scissors. I've left the scrapbooking world behind. Okay, so there's that, and there's that. So that's where we're at there. So now, before I start gluing anything down, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get the camera to pick up on it. There's the faintest little stamp right here that you can see. I had an old copper stamp that I thought was going to come out darker than that, but I really like the almost ghost quality of how that turned out. So what I'm going to do is to keep from adding bulk to the pocket itself, I use a lot of my stamps for envelopes and things of that nature because it does keep the thickness and the volume down. There's a paper clip for you. So I'm just going to sort through my stamps real quick. Bear with me. This is what you get when you get a live crafting session. Oh, what if we grab this one? And let me grab a block that it will fit on. That fit? That will fit. Oh, this is really stuck. If you don't use your stamps a lot, sometimes this will happen. And here in Texas, my studio gets warm when I'm not in it because I turn my AC off. So when they say keep these guys in a cool, dry place, they mean it, because otherwise you're doing this to your stamp. And you have the potential, did I just rip it? Nope. You have the potential to rip stamps. So keep that in mind when storing your beloved stamp collection. Alright, I'm going to pause this and get this thing off its back, or I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. Yay, I got it off there. However, look at the poor backing. It's no longer flat. It's curved. But that's okay. So I'm just going to place this down on here, like so. And it's just, I couldn't tell you what's written on there, if it's even English. I have no idea. I don't think so. It looks like French to me. I just want to make sure that it's, well, right side up and not upside down. Oh, it says, love you, forever hold you in my heart. Okay, so the letters need to go this way. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that that's secure on my block. And this is the way the letters are upright. So then I'm going to grab my little ink pad. This says Jumbo Java. I don't know if this is going to be... Oh, that'll be dark enough. But do we want to go brown on red? I think I want to do black. Maybe. Bear with me. Is it sitting out here and I just don't see it? Because, you know, sometimes that'll happen. There it is. I found it. Okay. Alright. So these are, if anybody's curious, they're made by June 6. This is Midnight Black. These are chalk ink pads. If you are printing on anything other than a regular dry piece of paper, be aware they take a minute to dry. So I've smudged many a designs thinking, oh, it instantly dries. It does not instantly dry. Once it's dry, it's good to go, but not always instantaneous. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to ink it up. I'm not worried about if it's all the same coverage, because I want it to kind of be a little faded. I'm going to start with the middle section. I'm just going to put it over here on my book so I don't get ink on the Fiskars mat. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to go like that. And there we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to come back, re-ink it. back up here. And I'm just going to go kind of right there. Sorry, the camera's shaking. I really got to find a different kind of mount and get the camera off my table. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Alright, and then one more. We're just going to do right there. There we go. Okay. And then I'll show you what I do with my stamps. I have a tendency to clean them off right away when I'm done with them. And what I've done is I've taken this little golden book and I've got squares of tissue paper, just regular like gift wrap tissue paper. And I put it down. And when I'm done stamping with my stamp, can you see this? Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. I will go back and I will just do this on tissue paper. This one I'm only going to do once because it is such a large stamp. But then you have this little print here that can be cut and torn, Mod Podged onto something. I'll show you. What I do is I'll do some mass stamping. And then I'll just take that page and I'll just glue it across the top. And then as you can see, I've come in here and cut out the designs that I need as I need them. It's also a good way to test out your stamp if it has any flaws in it. Kind of figure out how you need to, rock and roll. There's me cleaning out different stamps or whatever. That one's not glued down. But anyway, the book keeps them nice and flat and organized. And they're there at the ready whenever you decide that you might need a unique way to embellish a page. And then I just come in with a handy wipe and I just wipe down my stencil. I get all the ink off of it. I try to keep them as clean as I can. I don't know if ink causes these things to break down, but there's been a time in the past where a couple of my stamps have gotten old. They were not kept clean. And so now I just have a tendency to do that. So I will just put this back on its backer and I will give it a little bit of a chance to air dry so that I'm not sticking it back in my binder with any kind of moisture on it. Okay? So now moving forward, we have something that looks like this now in front of us. And then we're going to come back in here with these guys. I am making most of my embellishments to the Catching Fire journal with red pieces. I'm trying very hard to not make it too Valentine's or Christmas, or red is associated with several different holidays, so that's what I'm going to do there. I wish I had offset this one a little bit more, but it's okay. It is what it is at this point. So what I think I might do, what if we actually came in and brought that along the edges of that. Oh, I like that better. I like that a lot better. I just need to cut another one. Okay, let's do that. See, that's what happens. Craft Live with Tiffany, you never know what you're going to get. It's what makes journaling fun. How are we doing on time? 24 minutes. We are good. These videos are going to be a little lengthier than my small steps videos, just because I want to be able to take my time and create this. This is something that I'm creating for my Etsy shop. It will be up for sale when it's done, so if you're interested in purchasing it, then that would be fabulous. And if you're just here to learn or for entertainment, I'm glad you're here too. I try not to push my Etsy shop down people's throats. I know a lot of YouTubers will do that, and I And that's fine, you know, to each their own. Y'all do what you want to do. It's just not something that makes me comfortable or that I like to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my glue, little glue stick, and I'm just going to put plenty of glue on this little mamma jamma. And I think I'm going to go, let's see, do we want to go flat side in or curved side in? I think I want to do flat side in. So I'm just going to bring this guy right up to that edge and right down, maybe, right there. Open it up. Flip them over. Where'd my scissors go? Trim that off there. And now we have that. And then all we gotta do is come back in here with my wonderful thumb hole punch, maybe. Okay. Cooperate with me, will you? And just punch that off. Voila. Swalla walla. Okay. And then I'm gonna come back in here with my next piece. Okay. And we're doing flat side. So I'm just going to bring this up all the way to that edge. And he's just going to go all the way down. I'm not even going to trim him off to the bottom. And then same thing here. Just going to come in and clip that little portion out. That edge over there just does not want to cooperate whatsoever. There we go. And then we have that. And then we'll come back in here with this guy. If you guys have any suggestions, if you want to see anything made, if you need an example of something and maybe haven't been able to find it, I've had several requests. Somebody asked, you know, how do we make paper beads? And so I did a tutorial. It's in my library of videos, and I posted it to the Facebook group that we shared together, and she was very thankful for that tutorial. So yeah, if you need help finding something, oh, look at that. I really like how that's turning out. It's got a little bit of a scrapbook feel, but it's not super scrapbooky. Alright, there we go. I think I'm going to call that finished. So now I will show you how I go about gluing this guy down. And it's super easy. Because we have the bottom fold there, making your envelopes or your pockets are super easy. The glue that you see in my bottle is Fabrifix. It's a silicone-based glue, and I just have it in an icing bottle, so I get a nice fine line of glue. It lasts forever. It's because it's silicone-based, it doesn't warp your projects like regular liquid white glue does. So it's also fabulous because it will bond paper to paper, fabric to fabric, and paper to fabric, or fabric to paper. Depending on what you're going for there. Okay, so then once that guy's glued down, all I do is come back here and give this guy a little bead of glue, and this little guy a bead of glue, and then smush it down on the sides. It is, at least in my account, the Fabrifix is a little expensive. It comes in, let's see, I just got a renewal bottle. It comes in 4-ounce or 8-ounce size bottles. I used to use it just from this bottle, but as you can see, the factory hole is huge, and I was getting way too much glue, and it was just wasteful. So, I watched a video from Pam over at the Paper Outpost on YouTube, and she showed me this little icing bottle, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta give that a try, and I'm so glad I did, because voila. And then all I do to seal it at night is I just put this hat pin down in it. It doesn't dry out, it doesn't ooze everywhere. So yeah, thank you, Pam at Paper Outpost. If somebody wants to tag her in this video, that would be fabulous. I might actually lose my mind if Pam knew about my YouTube channel. So, so there's that stacked pocket. So now I've got this one and this one, and I'm going to create a third one. And let's see, what shall we do for this one? I definitely want to use the black. I've got a brown, a red, and why not a black? Ooh, those could be the colors of my signatures. How about that? I very, very rarely, I always start out creating a journal with a theme, and then by the time it's all said and done, Tiffany has gone off the deep end, and they are so eclectic looking. Sometimes I sit back and be like, what was the plan for this thing? But you know, just kind of is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with an eclectic looking journal. They're always cute. They're always fabulous. And if you think about it, our lives are eclectic, right? You know, we're collecting things all along the journey from cradle to the grave. So why not have a junk journal that's just as creative and unique as you are? I love the sound of coffee dyed paper. And really, anytime you alter any of that plain white copy paper with any kind of liquid, it gets this crunchy quality to it that I just can't get enough of. I could sit here and do this all day long. Not very productive, but hey, sometimes you just got to do what makes you happy. But really, crafting, making videos for you guys, building journals, it really is a fun experience. Alright, so there we have that. Okay. Set my ink dauber aside. Okay, so yeah, everybody fits together quite nicely. So now I got to figure out how we're going to decorate this one. I think for this one, I'm going to see if I can't find a nice tall stamp that maybe could go across all 3 stages. I don't know if I have any that are that kind of tall, that are just not just edging stamps. Let's see. Maybe not a rubber stamp. Maybe I need to look at a block stamp instead. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I don't know. I have this stamp though, and I really kind of like the way that it looks. So I'm thinking, let's see. It would fit all along there, and then I could stamp it the other way going here and on there. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. That's where we're headed. Okay. So same basic process. Stamps are really a great way to add interest to a junk journal page. Pocket, envelope, tag, journaling card, whatever have you, without having to, like I said, add a bunch of bulk. Because these journals will thicken up on you without much thought. I can't even finish the sentence. Sorry, guys. I'm focusing. I'm focused. I'm so focused. Oh, that is just beautiful. Okay, so then what I'm going to do... Okay, so that one goes that way. I'm going to switch it and make it go this way. If you're new and this is the first video you've ever watched, I don't incessantly talk while I'm crafting, especially when I'm crafting things like this. Sometimes it's nice just to be quiet. Oh, nice. That one didn't come out as dark, so that's okay. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just inking my stamp. Okay. So this is not entirely dry, so I'm just going to be careful so as not to smoosh it. Smooshy, smooshy. Trying really hard not to stamp this without wiggling the table too much, because you guys are attached to the table. So anytime I wiggle, you guys will wiggle. There we go. There we go. There we go. And there's a lot of ink left on that stamp. So I think I'm gonna grab a piece of random paper sitting over here to my left. And I'm just going to do one of these things. I'm going to air stamp it. It's an old piece of wallpaper that I just grabbed. Oh yeah, and look at that. Beautiful little stamp. And then my stamp is somewhat cleaned off. It's at least dried of all of its ink. So I'm just going to grab my little handy wipe here. And these are fabulous to have on hand. It gets dried out. I just spritz it with some water. My water bottle's getting empty. And then I'll just clean my stamp off. And this gives my design that I just stamped a chance to dry, so that I don't immediately try to overwork the item and end up smudging my picture everywhere. Now, if you're working with the Tim Holtz stuff, that stuff dries almost immediately. I really, unless it's like vellum or something that you're stamping it on, I really haven't found too many mediums that that it won't dry on. Alright, so that handy wipe is toast. Leave that stamp sit over there to dry. Okay, so now we just come back to this, and it looks like everything's dry. So now what happens when we put it all together? Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like it. How about that, guys? Does everybody like that? Can everybody see it? That turned out really well. I like the black and I don't know, tan coffee, black and coffee. I mean, I don't drink black coffee, but you know, whatever. It's okay. I'm a loon. I know it. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm going to keep my thumbprints in the center. Maybe. At least as close to center as I can get without actually measuring. So there's that one. And then there's that one. Yep. So there you can get an idea. So there's thumb holes without an accent. And then here's what happens when you go back and you daub ink around them. It kind of lets them pop a little more, the contrast that you can see. That's why I do it anyway. Now, obviously, once this has a card or a tag put down in it, whether that's accentuated with ink, you're going to be able to see it. But I like the way that it looks when there's nothing in it. So yeah, there's that item. So what if we take this? It's not quite long enough to go top to bottom, but that's okay. What if we took that? I don't want to... Oh, you know what I could do? Watch this. Let's see. Let's see if this works. I've got an idea, but I don't know if it'll pan out just right. If I take this, okay, bear with me. It's a work in progress. I have a thought, and the thought has to come to fruition. So all I've done is run glue up the side of this pocket, of this particular pocket, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to glue this all the way to the edge of that. Okay. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to cut it even with the top. Okay. Yes, yes. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to measure. I'm going to put glue along that edge. Ah, no! My glue page is getting sticky. Okay, without gluing that pocket down, I want to go just below its surface, but right along that same edge. And then I want to cut it. Yeah. And then all I do is need another strip. I didn't even measure that first one, did I? No, I did not. I want to use this side. Can you all see what I'm doing? I never got myself so far off camera you're like stopped watching because you can't see what's going on. And then I'm just gonna, geez, I keep putting stuff over here on my book. Just gonna run glue down that outer edge. There we go. So then we have something that looks like that. And what I can do is once I glue that all down, is I can come back in with my dauber and re-age, maybe, re-age the corners. I say age, re-darken them. There we go. Okay, and we're going to come in here with our silicone glue. Alright, we are getting close to the end of this video, so if you're new, hit that subscribe button to keep watching the content of my Catching Fire Journal. Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. I think I've already said this once, but I'll go over it again. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays is when my new content comes out. Turn on that notifications and you'll never miss a video. If you're returning to the channel and you've seen all of this stuff before, thank you so much for coming back and watching it. I don't know if you've learned anything new or if you just just here to have somebody to craft with. Thank you for coming. Alright, this is almost done. And then I always let my things dry pretty well before I have a tendency to glue them into a journal. So especially these guys, since there's multiple layers and lots of stuff going on with them, I won't glue these in. But the next time you see my Catching Fire journal, there will be one glue, or they'll be glued in, and I'll show them to you then. So yeah, there's that one completely finished. So it's the one we started off with, and the two that we made. They both turned out beautifully. They are all three lovely and will look gorgeous in this new journal. And now I have lots of extra storage pockets for journaling tags and journaling cards. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. If you followed along with me, that was great, and I hope your stacked pockets or multi-pockets turned out beautifully. I'm sure they did. Alright, so yeah, that's everything I have for this video. This is Tiffany from Dragonflower Studio. Until next time, thank you for watching.